Hello, and welcome to my favorite gadget. As a part of my computer hardware module in college in Dundalk, I will talk about my favorite gadget I found to be an A38E Pocket Emulator retro game. Well, what is it? Well, it's an emulator for most of the handheld games in the 90s. It's very handy, small, with a screen big enough to see, so it doesn't strain your eyes, and it's very easy to use. Why I chose this product? Well, I just listed all the good reasons, but it's very easy to use, and the screen is pretty good, as well as the game choices are very extensive. What I found really appealing in it was the fact that there were so many emulators available, and so many different consoles were available to play as compatible. And I'll just go on and talk about its primary features. The gaming compatibility is for Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, Neo Geo, and more. There's also a music player, video player, radio, FM, and image viewer, but we're mostly going to use it for gaming, so those are not very important. The gaming compatibility, as mentioned before, the handheld emulator can play NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, Neo Geo. It says in the description on thinkgeek.com that it supports 2D games, but it's not true. There's no compatibility with it. It plays 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit games, and the button layout is quite good as it resembles the Game Boy Micro. So as you can see, this is the console. Here you have directional buttons, A, B, X, Y buttons as in the Xbox 360. This is the top view, and here's the start and select buttons. And this is the top view, so you can see a micro USB port, speakers on either side, left button and right button here. Sorry, this is the top. Left button and right button here. On the left side you have the dials that show whether the power is on and whether the battery is low. On the right side, however, there's a 3.5mm stereo audio output, microphone output, and the power buttons, as well as the volume scroll. On the bottom you have the speakers, micro USB, a card, a micro SD card slot for up to 32 gigabytes, and an AV output. So as you can see, the console is pretty easy and pretty it looks pretty good, and the sizes aren't too big. It's a little bit it's slightly bigger than the Game Boy Micro. The display, it's a thin film transistor liquid crystal display of 3.2 inches, resolution of 400 by 240. The CPU, it has one core, clock speed of 500 megahertz, level 2 cache of 512, FSB speed of 100 megahertz, also known as front side memory bus, also known as the processor bus, memory bus, or system bus, and connects the CPU from the main memory and level 2 cache. The FSB can range from spreads of 66 MHz, 133 MHz, 100 MHz, 266, 400, or 100 in this case. The instruction set is for 32-bit as the maximum compatibility range, and the volume voltage range is 2.0 volt. The information I found on Intel website for the 500 megahertz CPU processor. The RAM is a 64 megabyte static RAM. The static random access memory is a type of semiconductor memory that uses bistable latching circulatory system to store each bit. The alternative would be a dynamic RAM, which must be periodically refreshed, which it only means that it's going to take a lot slower, but it's just as good. The storage, however, is 4 GB of internal storage and supports a microSD secure digital card up to 32 gigabytes. However, there is not. If you're only using it for games, 4 gigabytes will be sufficient. However, if you're using your emulator for video and games and music, it is recommended to have a higher memory card because it will be necessary. The internal components include a gravity sensing effect when playing games, compatible video of number of different systems, compatible audio of MP3, WMA, WAV, OGG, ACTS, APE, and so on. The image viewer is it views all images available on your computer. And an audio recorder of voice recording supports. It records in MP3 and WAV formats. The recorder. There have been reviews for this product, and the voice recording was not very great. Was not so great, but I doubt any of us would use this other than gaming and perhaps movies and music. It also has an ebook reader, which supports text, HTML, and doc formats. Supports bookmark and auto browsing. The default language is English, but it also contains Spanish, French, German, Russian, Chinese, and Japanese and Korean, and so on. The battery of 1,800 milliampere per hour lithium-ion battery, and it is Windows and Mac friendly, but it is little friendlier with Windows because, well, no surprise there. Okay, well, this has been my favorite gadget, and thank you for all. Thanks for listening. Bye.